What's going on, everybody? It's Ndukauba, and today I'm here with the top 10 characters I would like to see as DLC in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, before I actually get into this, I just want to give a huge shout out to the homie Omega Pro because he actually made a video on this, and at the time, I just couldn't think of 10 characters, but now I think I have a pretty solid list in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to list them one by one, and also note that these characters are in no particular order at all. I just want to see these 10 characters in the game in general. But yeah, with that being said, let's get right into it. So the very first character is Pikkon. Now, for what reason would we all not want Pikkon in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2? Because literally his moveset, it speaks for itself. Like, I can think of 3 moves off the top of my head. Burning Shoot, Hyper Tornado as supers, and then of course Thunder Flash as his ultimate attack. Like, Pikkon is such a dope character, and on top of that, seeing that we already have Gogeta and Janemba in the game, it also makes sense to throw Pikkon in there because he was also a part of that movie, Fusion Reborn. So it would just be overall just an awesome thing to see my man Pikkon in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Number 2 is Tapion. Tapion is a G, bruh. Like, I actually need him in Xenoverse 2. Like, I don't understand why he's not in the game at all. Like, he's such an awesome character. Like, his sword techniques are much more refined than Trunks' will ever be. Like, I need to see him in Glorious HD because if I'm not mistaken, the last time we had Tapion in a Dragon Ball Z game was Tenkaichi 3. After that, he was gone. So I would really like to see Tapion in Xenoverse 2. I think it's time for him to finally step into HD. Number 3 is Baby Vegeta. There is literally not a single reason that Baby should not be in Dragon Ball Xenoverse point blank period. Like both Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. There's not a single reason for him not to be in the game. Because if you're including the most iconic characters of the GT series being, you know, the Super Saiyan 4s, including Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega Shenron, Ice Shenron, Nova Shenron, and you're forgetting a huge villain in the GT series that caused Goku to go Super Saiyan 4, then yes, I think that's a tremendous mistake. Like, on top of that, Baby was a well-developed character. A lot of people actually like Baby, and not that many people even like GT. Like, out of all the memorable characters, Baby does stand out. So I just do not see any single reason that Baby, as well as like all the Baby Vegeta forms, is not in Xenoverse 2. He should be in the game. Number 4 is Tarble. Now, some of you guys might not know who Tarble is, and I'll actually be surprised if you don't. But for those of you who don't, Tarble is actually Vegeta's younger brother. And out of all the Saiyans, he's probably the most peaceful Saiyan out of all of them. Even more peaceful than Gohan was, and that's actually saying something. But I would actually like to see him back in a Dragon Ball Z game because the only Dragon Ball Z game that he's ever been in was in Raging Blast 2, and he wasn't that bad of a character, honestly. And I think like he has a lot of room for improvement. You know, they can really like, they can have their way with his moveset, I guess, because we don't really know what he's capable of, but we know that seeing that he's a Saiyan, he's by no means like utterly completely weak. And on top of that, and I think I'm probably the only person who sees it like this, but I really like the comparison between Tarble and KAUBA because they're both peaceful Saiyans, except the only difference is that KAUBA had like some sort of trading from Vegeta and he's able to access Super Saiyan. But still, I would really like to see Tarble in the game. Like, Vegeta's younger brother needs to come back. Number 5 is actually a 2-parter, but I want to see Oob and Majub in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, same thing for some of the characters I listed earlier, but we haven't seen Oob or Majub since Tenkaichi 3. So 1, it would be good to actually see him in HD after all these years, and 2, Oob and Majub. It's like, okay, we know that Oob is a canon character, like he's canon to Dragon Ball Z, and Majub, even though we know GT isn't canon, he was a really good blend between pretty much Goku and Buu, because we know that he had pretty much both of their movesets. It made it pretty unique, and I would really like to see him in Xenoverse 2. Granted, yes, we know that, you know, your created character, you can make him look like Buu because, you know, the hairstyle and whatnot, and you can pretty much give him a blend between Goku's moves and Buu's moves, like we all know that. However, that's only limited to the Majins because not all the characters can learn Buu's moves. So having Majub in there and Oob as well would just be freaking awesome. Number 6 is Hatchiyak. Now, the only like big-esque character we have in Dragon Ball Xenoverse is Broly. So I think it's kind of lacking in that department, and we need somebody, you know, to like go alongside my boy Broly. And that's where Hatchiyak comes in, because Hatchiyak was actually a really good character in Raging Blast 2 if you knew how to use him. And his moveset is really freaking dope. Like, in particular, I love his ultimate attack, the way how he crosses his arms and shoots that blast out. I don't know about y'all, but I think that that's dope, and that would actually be an awesome ultimate to see on other like created characters as well. Like, his moveset is so freaking nice, and it would flow perfectly with Xenoverse 2. So if there's ever even a possibility, please put Hatchiyak in the game. Number 7 is a definite no-brainer, but Bojack needs to be in the game. I don't understand why he's not in Xenoverse 2, because, you know, Xenoverse 2 focused a bit more heavily on movie characters, and Bojack is a fairly prominent movie character, especially seeing that that movie was the second time we saw Gohan go Super Saiyan 2. So you knew it was real. Like, you knew something was actually going down if it made Gohan go Super Saiyan 2. But on top of that, Bojack was a fairly powerful character. He does also have a transformation which would look nice in game. Or granted, like if they make it like a separate, like, you know, character itself, like what they did for some characters like Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan God, etc, etc. But Bojack in general, just as a character, his moveset would flow perfectly in Xenoverse 2. And I don't understand why he's not in the game if they're focusing on movie characters and they're leaving out one major movie villain from the game. So if they make like a DLC like story or something like that, and they throw Bojack in there, for the love of God, just throw him in there. Just that's all I want to say. Just please put Bojack in the game. Number 8, and this has actually thrown me off since Battle of Z, but I want to see Chilled in Xenoverse 2. Now, again, I told you guys that this threw me off since Battle of Z, and the main reason because of that is excluding Dragon Ball Z for Connect, because that game just doesn't exist. Super Saiyan Bardock was in Battle of Z, and I thought, well, if you have the main protagonist, you would also have the main antagonist in the game. And sure enough, Chilled was not in Battle of Z, and he wasn't even in Xenoverse. So I really want to see Chilled in Xenoverse 2, because I can literally think of all the moves that he did on Bardock that made Chilled seem so awesome, bruh. And especially like when he threw all those ki blasts at Bardock, I was like, bruh, like literally his ultimate attack speaks for itself. So again, if you have Super Saiyan Bardock in the game, Chilled has every right to be in the game as well, which is another reason why I would like to see him in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Going back to movie characters with number 9, I would actually like to see Android 13 in Xenoverse 2. Because even though we know that 14 and 15 were in that movie as well, they didn't really stand out as much as 13 did. On top of that, SS Deadly Bomber, that move would be dope in Xenoverse 2. Granted, I see it being kind of broken a little bit because we know that SS Deadly Bomber actually tracks your opponent, but at the same time, I see it working similar to Spirit Ball, so I think it can work. It definitely can work. But even at that, on top of that, like having Super 13 as a possible like transformation or maybe like a separate like character as well would be awesome. So please, please, please put Android 13 in the game. And last but not least, and I think a lot of people actually wanted this character in a Dragon Ball Z game for years now. I think ever since like Budokai 3. But I would actually like to see Adult Goten in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, a lot of people actually sleep on Adult Goten because honestly, I have no idea why. I really don't. But we have seen Adult Goten actually fight in GT. We know that he's viable enough to actually have a moveset in Xenoverse 2 if they ever decided to add him. So I don't really see the reason for them not to include him in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. On top of that, yes, we know like, you know, GT Goku, Pan, GT Trunks, they stand out a bit more than GT Goten ever has, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't be an awesome character to have in general, because again, a lot of people have actually wanted to see GT Goten in a Dragon Ball Z game, period, for years now. So I think that Xenoverse 2 would definitely be the time to finally give him his chance to shine. And then I have 2 honorable mentions, which are both Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Broly. The main reason why I didn't include them in the main list is because they're what-if characters, and I would really like to see them in Xenoverse 2. But again, the fact that they are what-if characters are the reason why I put them as honorable mentions. But even so, I would still like to see Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Broly in Xenoverse 2. But yeah, that's my top 10 list of characters I would like to see in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And if you guys actually have your own list, let me know in the comment section below. But nonetheless, that's the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, please like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ndukauba. And if you want to stay updated for all the videos I upload, don't forget to ring my bell. And as always, thanks for watching. See you guys later.